Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Let's get into today's words of wisdom. It's from December 25th, and I quote, "Hearing is one of the most basic human abilities, and it is important that you use your ears to gather information that can then be used in your work. It is also important to listen to what other people say." From the Laws of Happiness. Thank you, Master Okawa. All right, so today's words of wisdom is from the Kyoten Master's book, The Laws of Happiness. And in The Laws of Happiness, there's a whole chapter where Master Okawa talks about how to increase your work capability or your working abilities or problem-solving abilities at your work. The reason why he put this chapter in this Kyoten is because in order to talk about happiness in the modern days, we have to find tips of being able to become better at work, because that serves as a great part of happiness in our daily lives. So Happy Science's stance, we don't take a traditional religious method where we say that money making is bad, so you should stay away from money. Work is a place where you produce profits, right? But we don't think that's a bad thing. We actually try to provide, or Master Okawa, he's providing us with teachings that's harmonious with heavenly values, even at work. And in order for us to be happy in the modern days, we just have to, one part of the aspect of happiness is getting better at work, getting ahead in your company, getting a promotion, being able to produce more values, being appreciated by by your boss, or by your subordinates, and by your colleagues, and of course, being appreciated by your customers. So, Master gives us tips on how to increase our level of work. And in one of them, he talks about many different points, but one of them, he talks about the importance of using our ears to gather information. So, he's saying that while you're working, instead of just doing what you have to do and what's right in front of you, but also listen. If you're working in, let's say, an office, listen to your coworkers. Listen to what your boss is saying. What kind of meetings are going on. Be attentive to all of these details that's going on around you. And by doing so, you start gaining a proper understanding of many different ways to say this, but a proper understanding of your position, what you're expected to do, and how your department is serving your whole company, and what's the purpose of your department, and what's your purpose, what's your position, and what you're expected to do. These kind of informations, it doesn't really necessarily, it's not always given to you, unless your boss is a very kind and caring person, where he looks after you, he takes care of you to that much detail. But usually bosses are busy with their own work. So they'll probably give us work, give us an order to do something, but then we may be at a loss because there aren't any proper explanations. When that occurs, our stance is that it's your responsibility to be able to get the information to be able to properly do your work. So ears work as a really good way, as a good weapon. So please use this, is what Master is saying, and this really helps. You know how when they say knowledge is power? This sentence is power. It won't give you much change in one day or 1 week, but if you keep on listening attentively for a month, for 3 months, for a year, for 3 years, you'll be a totally different person, a much smarter person, and you'll be able to see your position objectively at your company or where you work. Meaning you'll know what you're expected out of, what's expected out of you. You will know that, which is a very important part to be able to be a capable person in any kind of work environment. Also, the latter sentence I think is very important. It is also important to listen to what other people say. Sometimes we tend to interrupt other person's speech or talk before they're finished, or we butt in. This is a tendency that's shown in people who are rather smart, who's a quick thinker. But what's important in work, or what's important in life, in order to create a good, harmonious relationship with others, is listening. Not hearing, listening. you have to really try to listen to what they are trying to say to be able to understand them. And, our basic teachings, the most fundamental teachings of happiness and happy science is giving love. And Master has also taught us that to love means to understand. If you can understand the other person, it means that you've already loved that person. And in order to understand others, it's really important to go back to the basics of listening. Instead of trying to put your thoughts down in their throats, it's really important to first try to catch their soul's cry. What are they seeking from the bottom of their hearts? If you grasp that, they will feel loved. And it'll create a better human relationship. And of course, it'll be turned into better customer service. And of course, you'll be able to work better as a team, as a good teammate, if you're a good listener. Especially bosses. Really important to listen to their subordinates. Also, of course, you have to listen to your boss, that's obvious. But the higher you go up, it's really important to be able to have those set of ears that's able to capture a lot of people's hearts. That's one of the important qualities of leadership that Master is teaching us here in Happy Science. All right, let me end today's by quoting today's words of wisdom. Hearing is one of the most basic human abilities, and it is important that you use your ears to gather information that can then be used in your work. It is also important to listen to what other people say. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.